Hi, this is Arnie. I thank you for all the wonderful comments and questions that you send to us via our Facebook or on our website. One of the recent questions we had was, Arnie, are you for real? Well, I sent back and said, yes, I'm for real, and what we're doing is for real. But I thought I need to say more. If that question is on that one heart, it may be on many more. So I want to be perfectly clear. I want to share with you my story. You see, I was born to parents that were church planting pastors. That means they planted a new church. Being a preacher's kid, going to church was never an option. You see, every Sunday morning and Sunday evening and Wednesday evening, I had to be in church. And when revival services were held, I had to be there every night in church. And usually that meant that the evangelist occupied my bedroom and I had to sleep on a couch. That was my life until I got out of school, got married, and started building a family of my own. For 30 years, I spent making money, making my choices, and I can tell you, my focus was all about me and about my children and my wife. At the age of 49, I came across the book Mein Kampf. Mein Kampf was the book that Hitler wrote while he was in prison. Mein Kampf, translated into English, is My Struggle. There wasn't any particular reason for reading it other than I had read everything else I had, and that came to my attention, so out of curiosity I read it. As I was reading into Mein Kampf, it got very dark reading Hitler's thoughts and plans. One day as I was reading, just the dominant thought hit me that here I am reading a book that Satan inspired when I haven't read the book that God inspired. And I set it down. A few days later I picked it up to read again, and the same thing happened. Here I am reading the book that Satan inspired when I haven't read the book that God inspired. 3 times I picked that book up and tried to read, and 3 times I set it down. Now I'm a little slow, but I catch on. And I made a commitment to God that day that I was going to read His book, the Bible, in its entirety before I read anything else. As I started reading the book that my parents gave me for my high school graduation, it was still in like new condition. I'm a results-oriented person, so I decided I was going to start at the very beginning of Genesis and read through to Revelations. As I started reading, I started falling in love with God. He put such a passion in my heart to know all I could about Him and about Jesus, His Son. I came to accept Jesus as my Savior reading the Bible. I read the entire Bible that year. Joanne, my wife, and I started attending a little Wesleyan church in Fishers, Indiana. At 49 years old, it was the first time I ever went to church because I wanted to go. It was the first time I wanted to be where other people were that loved God and loved Jesus. It was a wonderful experience. Pastor Ken Hare and Nancy were our pastors, and how wonderful that was. In that first year, I was offered or invited to go on a mission trip to Mozambique, Africa. I had no idea where Mozambique was. I knew nothing about it. But I knew that in Africa there were the animals, the lions and giraffes and all the wonderful things that God has made. That was what had my curiosity. But as I went and spent 2 weeks in South Africa and Mozambique, it was an experience that changed my life simply because I accepted the invitation to go and participate. The first few days in Africa, everywhere I went, I kept looking down for black mamba snakes. I'm afraid of snakes. I even thought, here I am, everywhere I go, I'm looking down, worried about the black mamba snakes. One morning, about 2:30, I woke up. And what was rolling through my mind was that chorus, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of this earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace." Then I heard the Lord speak to me. And he said, "Arnie, don't worry about the snakes. I have control of them. You go where I ask you to go and do what I ask you to do, and I will take care of you." That morning, I gave my life to the Lord. This old control guy gave up all the control and said, "I'm all yours. I'm all in." I can tell you that that was just the beginning of the most precious years of my life. I've led teams all over the world, been in many different countries and situations, and the Lord has been faithful to that promise. But my heart's always been drawn back to Mozambique. Led many teams into Mozambique and seen many, many lives transformed, both Americans and Mozambicans, from those experiences. A couple of years ago, Ori Lehman and I, as he retired of being a missionary in Mozambique, we knew that the Lord wasn't finished with our work there. As we started looking around and asking about the needs, in the northern parts of Mozambique, everywhere we went and asked, the answer was always water. We need clean, fresh water, safe water to drink. That's our greatest need. We decided to form Water4Life Mozambique to focus on bringing that life-giving water to the children and families of remote villages in Mozambique, Africa. We were able to bring together a wonderful, strong, devoted board of directors. Together we raised the monies to buy all the equipment necessary and had it shipped into Mozambique. We started drilling in September of last year. We've drilled 12 wells to date, and we just started 4 more wells to be drilled. As the funding comes in, we will drill wells, and 100% of those funds that come in, we put into drilling those wells to provide clean water to Mozambique. Now, I've shared my story. I'm being real. The only way I knew to back up that statement is to share who I am and where I've been and where I'm going. I invite you to come on this journey with us. We need prayer supporters. We need donors. We need people that have a heart to see little girls be able to go back to school instead of spending all day carrying dirty water. Little children being healthy from drinking clean, safe water instead of drinking dirty, contaminated water. Dear friends, I'm real. Our God is real. Jesus is real. And eternity is real. And I invite you to walk along with us, and let's be real together. Thank you, and God bless you. This is Arnie Eastburn, the president of Mozambique, Water for Life. Thank you.